From niche titles to extremely expensive niche titles. Toaplan's platforming puzzle arcade classic, Snow Bros, or Snow Bros Nick and Tom, for those of us in the States, has seen multiple ports. An NES version, Genesis, Game Boy, a cancelled Amiga version that's actually been leaked onto the web for everyone to play. There's a popular ROM hack that parades itself as an official sequel, but it's actually just a clone that is oddly based around soccer with references to Doom in it. Yeah, this is real, and I've beaten it and covered it. Check it out if you want. And of course, on top of all of that, Snow Bros has gotten a proper remaster. But you know what it's never gotten? An actual, simple, straight-up port of the arcade version. It's not on Steam, not on Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, none of them. The only place there's anything remotely close is on mobile. And that version is a microtransaction riddled mess. And we're just gonna go ahead and pretend that it doesn't exist. And instead, ask the question, with so many versions available, how does the original version hold up? Hitting arcades in 1990, Snow Bros is an action puzzle platformer with a very simple premise. The kingdom of Snowland has been invaded. The twin princesses have been kidnapped by a large fire-breathing monster, and it's up to our heroes, two brothers wearing different colored overalls, to rescue them and save Snowland.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
All jokes aside, the game is actually more akin to another of Toaplan's more well-known titles. That's right, Bobble. So much so that it is basically just a more polished version, with the same simple one-screen stages where enemies are mindlessly wandering around, with the simple goal being to catch them all, and then send them careening to their doom. So it's no surprise that they'd reuse the formula again. Now, while very simple in design, these stages, all 50 of them, and that is a very important number, I'm gonna need you all to go ahead and keep that lodged up in your head for later, are very much the earliest of classic arcade-style setups. Basic platforms that you need to ascend. And gamer aside, you can only go up through the platforms, but not back down through them. But what makes all of this work is just how well the stages are all designed, offering up multiple pathways to the top, as well as different routes for your snowballs to travel downwards, ensuring that there isn't just one way to win, as well as changing up the themes every 10 stages, with the first set being as simple as just climb to the top, or say the last 10 stages actually let you fall through the bottom and come out on the top, which is actually a lot of fun. And despite only taking mere minutes to complete each stage, it's not going to be that easy, as Snow Bros has a solid difficulty curve, lulling you in with your standard Koopa Troopa style walk back and forth baddies, as it slowly introduces enemies that spit fire, climb through the stage, and even turn into an invincible tornado, phasing through everything as they hunt you down. I don't like these guys. And they're not the only ones. Run out the invisible time limit, and the Grim Reaper's understudy will drop in to, motivate you to move that frostbitten ass. But aside from that aforementioned polish, I also gotta mention the bosses. As unlike its spiritual predecessor Bobble, with its one broken final boss, Snow Bros hits you with a boss every 10 stages, and they are all interesting and vary from one another, utilizing the game's simple mechanics wonderfully, and all in different scenarios. Bosses that teleport, fly, the stage 40 boss, which looks like it would be the simplest, but it's actually the hardest with all the sentient fireballs blocking every which way. Yeah, it's gonna take more than just some well-placed snowballs if you want to survive. This is a puzzle platformer for a reason. The optimal strategy is to climb to the peak of every stage. Look down at these worthless minions as you send them tumbling to the bottom, plowing over their wicked companions, racking up more points, but more importantly, unlocking power-ups, which better increase your odds of survival. The red potions give you a speed boost, yellow increases the range of your attack, blue potions increase your power, which basically means enemies turn into snowballs faster, and the green one is OP. though it only lasts for a few seconds, letting you blow up into a balloon and just fly around the stage uninhibited, smacking everything in your path. And even better, you can actually stack all these power-ups, but you lose them the moment you die. And FYI, you are just as durable as a regular snowman.
I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world!
Which is actually extra punishing here, as unlike most arcade games where you can just keep on popping in quarters until you win, Snow Bros actually limits your lives. Quarters are just continues, so losing all your lives means restarting the stage, or let's be real here, the boss battles. Giving the game a more nuanced feeling of challenge, which is particularly stand out as arcade games are notorious for being cheap. Gotta squeeze the quarters out of you somehow. Still, if you're struggling, bringing in a buddy can help to circumvent this by using them as a shield.
Wait, what the? Get your hands off me! Wait,
You got this! Since with a friend, continues can be spent in level, and it ultimately just becomes a battle of attrition like most arcade games. And speaking of arcade games, it is pretty much impossible to ignore that beautiful classic arcade look that still holds true today. From pleasant patterns with bright colors to just, what is this arcade zaniness? Seriously, I can't even describe what half of this madness is. Seriously, what are these backgrounds? Not to mention, the entire series is just littered with cursed moments throughout. But you know what? It works. Snow Bros invokes that old fairy tale feeling. No. The kind before Disney. The ones that have the, darker undertone. It is super charming, and I love it. And the same can be said for the music. It's upbeat and super catchy, with a tad bit of whimsy thrown in there for good measure, fitting with the puzzle game genre. Only shifting to a faster, more action-oriented beat when the bosses show up. It all just works, blending together to create a game that is simple, fun, and charming. A truly great arcade experience that, yes, really holds up, especially with a friend, and is absolutely worth your time, and you should give it a go any way you can. As long as it's not the mobile version.